So first observe from the graph that there is a straight line relationship between concentration and absorbance. Equals INT, double click on the word intercept, pass the Y values, comma, X values. Now to calculate the concentration of the unknown samples based on the slope and intercept of the calibration curve. So we press equals, open bracket, pass the measured value, and now I will subtract the intercept, and I want to make this an absolute reference, so I'm going to lock that cell address by pressing F4, close the bracket, and divide it by the slope. I also want to lock the cell address for the slope because we'll be using this same value all the way down this table. So we do that by pressing F4. Now with those cell addresses locked, I can autofill down to get the results for all the samples. I'll add 1 decimal place. So here we have the density of the metal calculations, and we will use the autofill function again. So note the mass, length, width and height all need to be divided by 1,000. So I start with C18, divide by 1,000, and after this I can autofill down this column. Now I can also autofill across the row because length, width and height will be treated the same way, and then autofill down so that all units are now calculated to kilograms and meters. From here, calculate the volume as length times width times height. Note that the sample we are using here is a steel sample. Your sample might be aluminium. And then finally the density, which is of course the mass divided by the volume. And we can autofill those, and I'll format these numbers to whole numbers. Finally, the slope of the trend line is called for. So of course this is equals slope, open bracket, mass is on the y-axis, place the comma, and then volume on the x-axis gives us the slope of the line, which of course is our best estimate of the density of the metal. A few words about drawing the graph. Use a scatter plot with markers, and then in chart design select the data and manually input the x values, and volume goes on this axis, and then the y values with mass on the y-axis. Okay, I'll just center the graph a little bit here, and of course both axes need to be labelled with units, and also we'll need a trend line.